Hey everyone, welcome back to Disco Elysium. And last episode we talked to the union boss himself, Ever. We actually got Measurehead to drop the body down from the tree, but we didn't go check it out, so we'll have to check that out. And then we had a debrief with Kim and had a weird dream sequence where we were the ones hanging from the tree. So today we are not going to find Speed and sniff it, but we're going to try and finish some of these skill checks that we couldn't quite do. Like talk to Kim again about his background. And I really want to do the bookstore. Where is that? Plaisance, that's what it is. But I need drama, which I could put a point into because we only have 3. I think we're getting minus drama from something, from these glasses. Yeah. Let's go do that. Because I really want to check out that cursed bookstore. Oh, excuse me? Ooh, maybe we won't do that quite yet. That was the union hall that no one was at yesterday. Looks like Kim wants to talk to us as well.
Morning.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. Why do we need to talk to them? Everything points to the dockworkers union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, the preliminary information, which may of course all be wrong, but we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy. Are these men Gart told us about yesterday? Completely forgot. He looks at his notes. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them, by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. Cool. He crosses something else. One loose thread less to worry about. One big problem to replace. What do you mean, rowdy? I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the union, these men here. Men who drink beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for said policing. I think it's them. Maybe we should call in reinforcements? That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth the conflict between the RCM and the Debardeur Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? Oh, one more thing before we do. He glances at the booth again. We don't have to talk to them immediately. I was gonna say we should just talk to them later. I want to examine the body as well before we talk to them. We can walk right past them, continue with our business. Good, a power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder? They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave the choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me. Oh, and I forgot we have to do the borscht as well.
Just a moment.
Maybe the borscht will lead us into the basement of the Whirling in Rags. The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager. She's agitated, judging by the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, Mum.
Cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Everything all right? Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast, and Gary's phone is dead too.
What's wrong with the
The
phone?
manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask Arte, maybe. Why did you need to use a phone?
To let the young woman who is house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and Gary were supposed to be back on Monday night, but they're still missing and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Has your husband gone missing
That's
before?
This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
I really don't. What is this expedition your husband was on? Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. You said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them? Oh, the waterlock. Yeah, the waterlock we checked out right before going to sleep, and it was broken. The waterlock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there. Oh my, what happened to the waterlock? It's blocked by a big butter billboard. It fell right into the water. Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're welcome. I'd hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the waterlock's been repaired, and it's cold out there. I'll let him know where you're here. When or if I get there. Tell me about what he looks like. Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. What does he look like? Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's, and his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for? Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed, you might say wild even. The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description. One more thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case. How long have you been married? We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like how less obvious milestones even but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. How'd you meet? Via a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are. She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later. We don't have a lot of money, and we have to pay nightly for this, so I'll keep the pin for now. So he's some kind of scientist? Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise. Is that people who deal with cryptids? It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends. It is cryptids. That's one opinion, yes, and people are entitled to their opinions. She used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her. My apologies, ma'am. I didn't mean to undermine your hobby. It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species, called cryptids, is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research. I do have Suggestion -1. So let's put that on. It's this damn freaking shirt, isn't it? Yeah. No shirt on.
Oh, hello, dear.
83.
There you are again.
And maybe if I learn about this insect, this will get higher. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, she catches herself, but I shouldn't bore you with etymological minutia. Lieutenant gives you a sideways glance. I want to hear about the insect. Well, she hesitates. It's a phasmid, technically, but here comes the interesting. Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully, hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers. I knew it. We're going to be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists. It's not made up, officer, I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all. What makes you think it's around here? Some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us a clipping. So it's all the evidence you have? Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at. Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind their glasses. You seem really excited about this cryptid. Suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Is it dangerous? Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Is it valuable? I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Does it have cool powers? Yes! It can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it's stayed hidden for all these years, centuries even. What's so special about this stick bug, then? Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. The woman's face flushes with embarrassment. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure. I remember reading a book when I was a kid called Cryptid Hunters, and it was about these kids who, their parents died and they had to move in with their uncle, who was a cryptozoologist, and he was like hunting dinosaurs, I think, and he had trained a chimp that helped the kids out. I don't even remember. I think it was just called Cryptid Hunters. I think I might still have it. Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd only be too pleased to tell you about her work. Go and ask. I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you've studied. Could you just tell me about a couple of them? Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too. And it throws you one of those looks. One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. Extravaganza. I like the sound of that. And I don't. Just one. The tiniest one. Is that a cryptid on this pen you gave me? Yes, it's a kind of green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species of the genus Homo. War story. It was reported by soldiers in Tiananmen during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva. Ew. With its saliva? Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight, and there was something about this undiscovered okay, so it is a subspecies, man. Indeed there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids, some taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own, just like your partners. I knew it, Kim. You're not human. Pretty sure Kim is the same species as us. To suggest otherwise is stupid. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna go with Kim. Lieutenant looks at you, pleasantly surprised. Oh no, I didn't mean to imply that Zeolites are inferior to us in many ways. Oh, it's inferior to us. In many ways, you are superior. For example, your earwax doesn't have a foul odor like ours does. Wow, tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today. We can talk about cryptids later. Especially with Kim being pissed. Does Garte have anything to say?
Can I help you?
I saw another thing. I saw a sign that said I shouldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen? What are you now, a cook? That's none of your business. Maybe I am a cook. I have a search warrant. No, you don't. Better believe it, fucker. Funker, he shakes his head. Lay off the swear words. They don't make you cool. This isn't kindergarten. Besides, the RCM doesn't do search warrants. I know the law. You just have to wait for the kitchen to open if you have to get in there, which you don't. You do realize you can go to the kitchen at 1300. No need for superstar charm or Sambo-style antics here. Sambo is an acronym for Sumerian boxing. Graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Just letting you know. So the phone line is dead. Yep, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. That's pretty whoops. Is it true that there was foul play? He wrinkles his nose. Who told you that? I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable. Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill. But I'm really hungry. And you want me to make an exception for you? You're not even a hostile guest till you pay your outstanding bills. Awesome, this one, because that's pretty strange. It's not strange, it's inconvenient. Okay. Well, I can just walk into the kitchen, apparently. Oh well. I'll leave these guys, because I don't want to talk to them. They suck. Also, I noticed that Gardner was there, the Gardner lady. So, she's probably, because we knew she was spying, she's probably in on it with them. What do we need? Visual calculus? Oh, my visual calculus is so high, though. And this one was volition? Yeah, okay. Let's do the bookstore first. The body can stay down for a bit longer. We'll talk to this lady after. Okay. Drama is now 4. Level up to 5.
Hello again, esteemed officer. And welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
I had a few more questions about this curse. Okay, but please, only a few questions. Have you sought help from anyone? Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Summonese mediators. They provide me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough. Is it pendant part of your ward as well? Oh, this? She holds the pendant in her palm. Its ochre heart glistens under the lights. No, it's special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. She nods. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%. Truly. The one before you scans the store, shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then she nudges her glass. Alright, take 2. Yeah, I failed. What did I get? I got 9, so I need a 5 or higher. There's nothing but fear for the success of your business given a shape. Dealing with ghosts is simple. You have to show them who's boss. What does that even mean? Extreme violence. The wards only make them invite their ghost families, and the Seminies want that because they're in league with the ghosts. Do you take me for a complete fool? Kind of. Okay, we'll do one more. I don't want my drama that high, though.
Hello again,
This should be
esteemed
90.
officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what the world-class perfidy looks like. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before. Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before. I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleeper beyond calls out. I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but... Lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then. Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes. I admit I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing. Yeah, I'll do that one. It's psychologically taxing. How do you know all this? Here we go. Your wards brought me here in the first place. The Semini's blood also runs through me. I'm a void revenant. I have the powers to de-bad all the bad energies. The wards brought me here. You're part Seminese? Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been more chance. The hand of fate guides us. But I'm not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You're certain you can help us, keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us. No problems whatsoever. Your family is safe. The phantoms are no match for me. If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it? Psychic force has left me. On my honor. Thank you. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity. Do not act surprised. Do you know of these things, sire? For I have sensed its presence. You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Do you know that she lives inside the chimney? The passage between heaven and hell. Of course. Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She's barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Use the key to the warded door behind the curtains. And please, do return to me after you've looked around. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there. Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared, right? About your daughter. Oh yes, how's my precious doing? She's a good girl. The way you're handling her strikes me as wrong. Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business. Denial is the way she copes with criticism. I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. You must be kidding. That's nothing. There's nothing like that happening. Depends. How much do you pay her? Child labor and slavery. Okay, can we... We've gone over that before, but is there any way to get her in here? Because, like, it's apparently freezing out and she's just kind of standing out there. Oh, well. I guess not. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. Strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains. Pull them open. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. Doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Semnese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen. Oh, escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Jesus. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Looks like Guillaume Le Million, that hair poster. I can break the door down, but I have the key. Knock on the door. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Semnese trinkets and charms. Appears to be locked. Only an echo, no one is there. Unlock it. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. Open the door and enter. A gym? That's interesting.
What is this place?
Lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. Looks like a gym to me. Yes, but no one's been in here for ages. He draws a stripe on the dusty floor with his foot. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on. An eerie feeling rises in your chest. What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Yeah, because it's closed, right? No need to look for supernatural explanations. Where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we? Damn it, Kim. You're not wrong, but let's put these shades back on. Look at us. I might actually put a shirt on as well. Oh, wait. No, what happened to my shirt? My shirt's not showing anymore. How come? Visual glitch? Is it from wearing this jacket? There we go. Okay, it was from taking off my shirt while this jacket was... Okay, so I gotta put the jacket on, and then the shirt appears. Okay. There we go. What is that? -1 suggestion? That should be fine down here. Sand is dripping from the punch bag. Yeah, let's get this beer out of here. Ooh, a shot put ball. Is that how we replace one of the balls? Ball used for playing shot put. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such beautiful old school sports equipment would be a sin. Poster says Citius Fortis. The rest is worn. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Barbell lies on the floor. The color is worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilos. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar? Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell. You're right. The weights may fall off. Better not touch it then. What kind of bastard would just remove the collars? It should be a felony. It would be a violation of the EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter? No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory. A memory from another life, when you were young and fit. God, my physical instrument is so low. My physique is crap. Let's go. Oh god, am I gonna kill myself doing it? Also, there's still a visual thing of me holding the beer in my hand. Damn. You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with a bad form. The place is cursed. Seems like I'm a little out of shape. Or maybe these gloves just suck. Proper weightlifting gloves would definitely afford a better grip. Wow. There it is. Notice color. High performance weightlifting gloves. Yeah, right. Now it's 28. Let's do it again. Don't die. Oh, God. Fuck you, you stupid barbell. Weightlifting was never my favorite either. Damn. I'm gonna be stupid and drink some beer. Physique raised. There's a... If I take that off and these off. Take that off. No, he's still got the beer bottle stuck in his hand. Oh, wow. Should be like a 40% chance now, right? Oh. Put skill points into physical instrument to open this white. Oh. I thought the beer gave us another shot. That was the whole point of it. Or do we not? Well, that sucks. Get this bag back. Ooh, spooky. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Looks like the remains of the 24-hour window repair shop. Oh, God. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Large demijohn full of strange liquid. Ew. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Naked mannequin torso, strange yellow color. But where are the clothes it used to display? Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth bitten. Is this Emma's atelier? Steel rotor blades bearing the Slipstream logo. Production schedule filament memory? Excuse me? Skis with Slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. I don't get it. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the Slipstream logo. It seemed like that they started out making one, failed to return a profit, and pivoted to producing the other. But the question is, which do they start with, and which did they pivot to? That's a good question. What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. Reality is ruthless. Upstairs. Ooh, that's spooky. There's a thing up there, too. Is that an elf? Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing is faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Inspect the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of Welkins. You make autumnal candle Welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent Welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even Aether Welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all these creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of these Welkins as your persona, no longer a mere man, but a Welkin. One of the Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. Examine it. It's Varahamira, a high Welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Halder, the Dwarg, the humans, and even the headless men, all of them purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all. The lieutenant can't help but comment, an inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. Why would anyone spend so much time on this? Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. Looks like concept art for a project. One of them is a Welkin supremacist. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. Kim nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Let's move on from the Welkins. Inspect the photos. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. These are pictures... Oh, there are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by boreal dwarg. Yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, as much needed respite from our own world. Pinned postcard reads, the heat-death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Whirl becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. The schedule. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minime, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. What happened? As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in the region. The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness and concludes. Looks like they didn't make it. Note at the bottom says, see detail production schedule filament for details. Is that thing we got? Inspect the notes. Handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out, whirl untethered, and heat death of the universe. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise. Mainframe. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. A radio computer, says the lieutenant, watching you circle around the machine, just sitting here without anyone in sight. What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? Do you think I should turn it on? We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it. Turn it on. The machine... That was spooky. The machine lights up some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber. Stop music. Oh my goodness. Revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Look inside. It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left tangling. Disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. Insert the production schedule. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. Press play. Bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be this dismembered heart beginning to flutter? Oh no, it was already glowing and now it's also making a sound? It's probably some alien seal-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air. Good morning, Fortress Accident on Rue de St. Keys Lane. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat, is this the production schedule? What's the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. You mean the glowing thing I put inside? Yes. Is that the production schedule? Yes. Please repeat the password. Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. This is the police. Please open this thing. The voice recites, I'm contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder, Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament. I'm afraid we're not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month. Now can you please repeat the password? Is it my birthday? No. Can you give me a hint? Still no. I don't know the password. Received. I will register this login attempt. That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Why'd you call me Fortress Accident? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to. Do you have any other information? One moment. Here, flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care. Fortress Accident CSA, SCA, produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. That's not bad. Wow, so conceptual. And what's that? This interactive call-in radio play. The static drowns her response. Any other questions? You hear her ask when the connection finally improves. What are you, a machine? Or alive? Yes, I'm alive. I'm 74 years old, and my name is Yvonne. The lieutenant whispers into your ear. She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid. My partner tells me that you're here because radio computer guys are all paranoid. They're merely cautious, says the old lady. It's my job to protect their filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian station. But where are you? How did you know where I am? I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I'm sitting in my cubicle surrounded by a wall of radios. On an island in the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark. Now please tell me if there's anything else I can do for you. That's all for now. Press print. Nothing happens. Damn. Frequency fireplace. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kedron mosaic tiles. Very pesantic. How do I know what the Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? History class. Students with the textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles look beautiful in the sun. What am I looking at? Radio frequencies. It seems. UKV, some written notes too, sparse and cryptic. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. Looks like a cardiovascular system, split into veins and capillaries. Or capillaries, sorry. Very advanced. Dealing with something medical? You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart titled the Game Master Frequency. This one can listen on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program. If it's a game, who's playing? Whoever decides to call into the call-in station, it looks like. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. My god, the lieutenant leans closer, his fingers tracking the maddening rezone. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. Why do you say that? The schedule. He nods at the calendar on the chalkboard, wiping his marker-stained fingers clean. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. What else? Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making? Yes, that is the question. The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands. Looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment. How are they planning to do that? Has anyone ever done this before? Has anyone ever done this before? Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grade, Messina, Königstein, you know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology. How are they planning to do that? Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. And there's the Game Master Frequency. God, I have trouble saying that word. I want to say frequency. That listens in on smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked. This was a role-playing game? Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the Weirll board game, with heat death thrown in. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. What do you think happened? No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. World is cold and lonely. This would keep the company. They were insane if they thought they could do this. Yes, especially in here. Looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet. Okay, let's keep moving. Scribbled across the notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. We're actually getting pretty good experience from that thought, the jamais vu. Let's go in here. Excuse me? Oh, ew, its eyes are glowing red? Stop. Take free meds, though. 22 minutes left. I'm gonna be close to death soon. Was this the chimney? The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony. Is this a furnace? Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats. Do I want to kick it? I don't think I should. Smear your hands with coal. A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Still, it's good you have this dirt on you. Real men wear coal for makeup. Look inside the furnace. It's dark and grimy here in the darkness. You can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice, or several voices, talking to each other near the smoke chambers upstairs. What are you doing? The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway into the furnace. I think I can hear someone talking upstairs. Wait, really? He looks up to the ceiling. We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs. Am I wearing that shirt still? I might be. His voice. Maybe it's the Malignant Entity. Plaisance said it lives in the chimney. You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected, but malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind. Hello! Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes through the chimney's depths. That's not hello. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly ceases. Then, hear a woman's voice answer. You've awakened the entity. And it's a woman. Of course, the malicious entities are always women. This is the police. Who's there? You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside. After you, officer. I don't want to kick this thing. What the fuck is this? It's a why is it a refrigerator? There's also stuff down here. But there's a lot of stuff down here. We'll check out this weird thing. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper carnivore. Be careful. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? It looks like a giant ice bear. The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. Sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door. Crack open the door. Gusts of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. He takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Kim. It's a fridge. Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door. Let's take a look inside. Shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. Handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. Take the note. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets, keeping it on the door. Examine one of the ice cream wrappers. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? Good question. Looks like an ice cream fridge. The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore? I know, says the lieutenant. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear's still costing them money to this day. He points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge. The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Ooh. Let's go in here first. I like secrets. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see. Where are we? It seemed like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all these rifles. Must be an old weapons cache. Look, there's a hole in the wall. Yes, there is, and there also appears to be something inside that hole. Interesting. You want to take a look? I do. Your hand reaches deep into the darkness and spiderwebs, rummaging around. You find rusty rifles. Rifle skin. Lieutenant steps closer. Are they any good? Inspect them. Most of them are rusty and inoperable like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock. in better cosmetic order than the others. Looks nice. An old bell Magrave from the Revolution. He notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming. Seems to be no longer functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way. What does this mean, a rifle here? Means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still laying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future. He likes this find. Anything else to do with it? I don't think there is, but... No, okay. Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Fuse box. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Ooh. Insane mesh tank top. Let's do it. Yes. Hey, there we go. Fantastic. Do the no pants. Okay, definitely not. We're gonna have those. 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Unplug the giant red cable. Unplug the black cable. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr. What did that do? It's black. It's not like the red ones. He raises his brows but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing. Unplug the giant red cable. An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. Cellar window. People's feet shuffling by on the street.
Yes?
Plug in the black cable. Somewhere a machine hums along with a current happy and contented. So that... Oh wait, the black one is the fridge, isn't it? I don't know why I unplugged it. I do things without any reason. Lieutenant Ray... Okay. Did that turn this fridge off? The bear's eyes are dead and empty, icy inside the fridge, slowly melting. Power's been cut off. Okay, so that was the giant. What the hell does the red one do then? Can I follow this? No, they both disappear around there. Plug in the giant red cable. Somewhere in the dark, a giant electric mammal stirs to life. Oh. Plug in the black cable. Somewhere a machine hums along with the current happy and contented. What the hell? Which one is it? This one? Maybe my skills are just too shit to even notice. Oh wait, there's also stairs over here. I want to go check out these. Oops. Oh. Do I have multiple volition checks? No, I don't. Okay. this was the only other place. Oh, there it is. Postcard, La Delta 51. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Does someone live here? Oh. Tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. These candy dispensers... the candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on the throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Wait, on her window? No, we knocked on the chimney. Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
What do you mean by Milius?
Yeah. A milieu is like a calling station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about
I'm
dice?
a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count? I like role-playing games, and I need dice.
My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there is any particular stone you want to use.
The wall around here are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. I'd like to order a die from you. Of course. Do you have any cursed dice? Do you know the Whirl Untethered setting? I want to die for that. Yes, Fortress Accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Whirl Untethered die is a variation of the standard role-playing die, only instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death, and loss, of course. Sounds like you. Think something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. Should get a different one. Okay. I don't want to pay 7 real right now. Need more time to think about it. Okay. What do you know about the man who was lynched? Yeah, nothing really. I didn't know him. Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. Lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? Sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. Shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean daily ruckus? Well, there's always been something going on at the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. She's heard of the murder, but did not see it. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. And you never took your eyes off your work to look out of that window? I might have, but in this case, all I could have seen would have been my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's light here, but dark in the yard at night. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. Do you often work Sundays? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. What is this place? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse. Creative. Looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area? I heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true. Plaisance sent me. She's convinced that this place is swarming with malicious energies. Plaisance, the bookstore lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energy spared her somehow? There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. The waitress took off and customers have trouble paying bills. And then there's me, she sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie scattered, from knives and carving flies to wire cutters. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived, despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange. Maybe it's just because she's so talented, and she's been able to woo the cursed. Plaisance thinks it's because of you. You're the source of it. Malignant Entity? What does that even mean? A dice maker laughs. Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm a malignant entity? Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in the psychic quest. Yeah, starting to see there's no curse. Only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? Oh, my shivers. Legendary. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? More or less. Are you interested in one specific? Oh, God. Okay, well, we'll talk to Plaisance again and ask her about this later. Do I have anything that gives me shivers? I don't. Let's go talk to Plaisance. Get that task completed. We're back.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
Pause dramatically. Yes, how was it? Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear. It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore. I knew it! Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. She shakes her head. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity? I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Nia, and she's a novelty dice maker. Her eyes widen. Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. She is not the one to blame for this curse. She's just a businesswoman like you. She looks perplexed. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse? The narrative she's built herself. It does need tearing down. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire? The source is in the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. We'll do that. Oh, how horrid. I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse? I called upon the spirit of Guillaume le Million to banish the curse in a flash of disco brilliance. Yes, Guillaume le Million, the singer who made that awful face? Well, I do see the resemblance. Looks at you with sudden admiration. All that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time until we're fully free of it, of course, but still. Thank you, officer, truly. You've brought us better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement. She so badly wants this to be over, she would have believed anything. It will only last a day or two, a week tops, then her mood will sour and she'll feel the curse again. Alright then. All's well that ends well. That was ridiculous. So we're gonna end this one here. Next episode we might talk to the novelty dice maker again, but we should look at that corpse and then talk to that group of thugs in the whirling ranks. Okay, see you in the next one.